Have you ever wondered if your inner world truly dictates your outer reality? Like, what if the secret to happiness, health, success, what if it wasn't about luck or, external forces, but about something much closer to home, your very own thoughts? Today, we're taking a deep dive into a really powerful little volume, As a Man Thinketh, by James Allen. It's a book that's, well, has shaped millions of lives.
Yeah, it's remarkable. And Alan's work, it's not like some long, exhaustive academic paper, is it?
It's incredibly concise. It's designed, as he puts it, to be suggestive rather than explanatory. His whole aim was to sort of stimulate men and women to the discovery and perception of the truth that they are the makers of themselves, and how, through the thoughts they choose to cultivate and encourage. He actually says the mind is the master weaver.
The master weaver.
Yeah, of both the inner garment of character and the outer garment of circumstance.
Yeah.
Powerful imagery. It really is. So our mission today is to unpack Allen's core message, which can be, frankly, quite challenging. This idea that our thoughts literally create our reality. Everything from character to health, even, our external situation. We'll explore how, as he says so simply, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, and crucially, what that truly means for you. Okay, so let's unpack this. Where does Allen even begin with this huge idea? He starts with this incredibly powerful aphorism. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And he means it literally. A person is what they think. Their character is just the complete sum of all his thoughts.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here is how he connects that to action. The idea that every single act, even stuff we call spontaneous or unpremeditated, actually springs from these hidden seeds of thought. Allen puts it very vividly. He says, "Act is the blossom of thought, and joy and suffering are its fruits.
Ah, the fruits.
Thus does a man garner in the sweet and bitter fruitage of his own husbandry." It's like we're farming our own experiences. And he uses that proem, too. "By thought we wrought and built. If a man's mind hath evil thoughts, pain comes on him, as comes the wheel the ox behind.
Wow.
If one endures in purity of thought, joy follows him as his own shadow sure." It's inescapable, like a shadow.
So it's not just a nice philosophical idea then. He's saying it's a fundamental law, like gravity almost.
Yeah.
Allen says man is a growth by law and not a creation by artifice.
Okay. He really insists that cause and effect is as absolute and undeviating in the hidden realm of thought as in the world of visible and material things, which implies that, having a noble character isn't luck, it's the natural result of continued effort and right thinking. And the flip side is just as true. An ignoble and bestial character comes from continued harboring of groveling thoughts. It's confronting. It is confronting. It suggests we planted the seeds for our own suffering, even if unconsciously. And that naturally leads to the question of agency, doesn't it? If we're constantly shaping ourselves, what power do we actually have? Allen's answer is bold. He argues each of us is the master of thought, the molder of character, and maker and shaper of condition, environment, and destiny.
Master, molder, maker, shaper. That's a lot of control.
It is. And he says even when we feel weak or lost, we're still a master, just maybe a foolish master who misgoverns his household. The way to become a wise master, he suggests, is to start reflecting on our condition, searching for the underlying law, through application, self-analysis, and experience. Basically, as he puts it, digging deep into the mine of his soul.
Okay, digging deep. And this digging, it extends beyond just character, right? He connects it to our actual circumstances. This is where he brings in that really brilliant garden analogy. I love this part. He compares your mind to a garden. You can either, cultivate it intelligently, plant good seeds, or you can just let it run wild. But either way, something's going to grow. And if you don't actively plant useful seeds, well, you'll just get an abundance of useless weed seeds taking over. It's inevitable.
Precisely. And connecting that to the bigger picture, our outer conditions, our circumstances, are harmoniously related to our inner state. Allen is crystal clear on this. Every man is where he is by the law of his being. The thoughts which he has built into his character have brought him there.
Wow. So no accidents.
He argues there's no element of chance at all. Circumstances, even the really difficult ones, are indispensable to his development. They're there to teach us a spiritual lesson.
That's a tough pill to swallow sometimes, though. I mean, what about when things just feel unfair? When it really feels like you're just fighting against circumstances that are completely outside your control? How does Allen explain that feeling?
He addresses that directly. He says fighting against circumstances actually means that a man is continually revolting against an effect without, while all the time he is nourishing and preserving its cause in his heart.
Ah, okay. So you're fighting the symptom, not the cause.
Exactly. He gives these vivid examples. The poor person who avoids work but wants wealth, the rich person suffering disease from gluttony, the employer using shady practices but wanting prosperity. In every case, their outward actions or desires are completely misaligned with their inner thoughts and habits. And he makes this sharp point. Men are anxious to improve their circumstances but are unwilling to improve themselves. They therefore remain bound.
They remain bound, stuck. So that makes a lot of sense. So the breakthrough comes when, as he says, a man only begins to be a man when he ceases to whine and revile and commences to search for the hidden justice which regulates his life. Finding that inner cause, and he talks about how thought crystallizes, right, into habit, then circumstance.
Yes, that's a key mechanism. Thought rapidly crystallizes into habit, and habit solidifies into circumstance. He gives powerful examples of this, like thoughts of fear, doubt, and indecision crystallize into weak habits, which solidify into circumstances of failure, indigence, and slavish dependence.
Oof, that's tough.
But also the positive side, loving and unselfish thoughts crystallize into habits of self-forgetfulness for others, which solidify into circumstances of sure and abiding prosperity and true riches.
It's a direct chain reaction. Thought, habit, circumstance.
Absolutely. Which leads to this empowering conclusion. While you cannot directly choose your circumstances, he can choose his thoughts, and so indirectly yet surely shape his circumstances. The world becomes, in a way, your kaleidoscope, constantly shifting to show you the exquisitely adjusted pictures of your ever-moving thoughts.
A kaleidoscope. I like that. So if thoughts shape character, habits, and even our outer world,
Yeah.
what about our physical bodies, our health? Does the connection go that deep for Alan?
Oh, absolutely. He sees the body as the servant of the mind. It just obeys the mind's operations, whether they're deliberate or automatic. He states very plainly that disease and health, like circumstances, are rooted in thought.
Rooted in thought, even physical illness.
Yes. He makes some strong claims, like thoughts of fear have been known to kill a man as speedily as a bullet, and maybe more relatably, people who live in fear of disease are the people who get it. But conversely, strong, pure, and happy thoughts build up the body in vigor and grace. He urges us to guard your mind, to perfect the body, beautify your mind, to renew it. It all comes back to that idea. Out of a clean heart comes a clean life and a clean body.
Okay, so thought influences character, circumstances, and health. But just thinking isn't enough,
Yeah.
but it needs direction. This is where purpose comes in. Alan really emphasizes this. He says, until thought is linked with purpose, there is no intelligent accomplishment. He actually calls aimlessness a vice. A vice. That leads to failure, unhappiness, loss. It's not just passive, it's detrimental.
Exactly. It's not just about thinking positive thoughts floating around. It's about focused thought. He links purpose directly to personal power and actually achieving things. His advice is to conceive of a legitimate purpose in his heart and set out to accomplish it, making that purpose the centralizing point of his thoughts.
Like a mental focal point.
Precisely. He calls this the royal road to self-control and true concentration of thought. And he offers encouragement. The weakest soul, knowing this truth that strength comes from practice, will at once begin to exert itself and will at last grow divinely strong. And this is crucial. Thought allied fearlessly to purpose becomes creative force.
Creative force.
He who knows this is ready to become something higher and stronger than a mere bundle of wavering thoughts and fluctuating sensations. He who does this has become the conscious and intelligent wielder of his mental powers.
So knowing isn't enough, you have to do it.
Right. And part of doing it is managing the negative thoughts. He warns that doubts and fears are disintegrating elements. They must be rigorously excluded because they never accomplish anything and never can.
Okay, this next part really gave me one of those aha moments. It elevates the whole thing. Alan talks about visions, ideals, dreams. He says, the dreamers are the saviors of the world. That's a huge statement. He argues humanity cannot forget its dreamers. It cannot let their ideals fade and die. It lives in them. It knows them in the realities which it shall one day see and know. He points to figures like Columbus, Copernicus, Buddha people who realize these massive visions.
It's a beautiful and powerful idea, and it begs the question, well, how do these grand visions become real? Alan's answer is simple, yet profound. To desire is to obtain, to aspire is to achieve. He calls dreams the seedlings of realities, like those thought seeds we talked about earlier, but for bigger things.
Seedlings of realities.
Yeah, he gives this great example. A young person stuck in poverty and hard labor, but by cultivating dreams of better things, building an ideal condition of life in their mind, they eventually transform everything. They become a master of certain forces of the mind which he wields with worldwide influence. His point is powerful. You cannot travel within and stand still without. Inner movement creates outer movement.
Which directly counters how we often look at successful people, doesn't it? It's so easy to just say, wow, look how lucky he is, or she just got fortunate.
Allen completely dismantles that superficial view. He points out that when we see the results, the apparent effects, we do not see the trials and failures and struggles which these men have voluntarily encountered.
Right, the iceberg analogy. We only see the tip.
Exactly. We have no knowledge of the sacrifices they have made, of the undaunted efforts they have put forth, of the faith they have exercised, he flatly states. Chance is not. All gifts, powers, possessions, they are the fruits of effort. They are thoughts completed, objects accomplished, visions realized.
Thoughts completed, visions realized.
And the ultimate takeaway here is the vision that you glorify in your mind, the ideal that you enthrone in your heart, this you will build your life by, this you will become.
So what you hold inside inevitably manifests outside. It's a radical level of responsibility.
It really is.
And all this leads us to what Allen calls one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. Maybe the peak of this whole process.
Yeah.
Serenity.
Yes, calmness of mind. But it's not just about being relaxed. Allen writes, it's the result of long and patient effort and self-control. It's earned. It comes from truly understanding yourself as a thought-evolved being. When you get that, you cease to fuss and fume and worry and grieve. Instead, you remain poised, steadfast, serene.
Poised, steadfast, serene. Sounds pretty good.
Doesn't it? And he links it back to effectiveness. The more tranquil a man becomes, the greater is his success, his influence, his power for good. Calmness isn't weakness, it's strength. He calls this serenity, this exquisite poise of character, the last lesson of culture, the flowering of life, the fruitage of the soul. And he leaves us with this image. For all the tempest-tossed souls out there, keep your hand firmly upon the helm of thought. And the reminder, self-control is strength, right thought is mastery, calmness is power. Say unto your heart, peace, be still.
Wow. Okay, so wrapping up our deep dive into As a Man Thinketh, it really reveals this profound, maybe even liberating truth. Your thoughts aren't just these fleeting internal whispers. They are, as Allen puts it, the master weavers of your character. They're the gardeners of your circumstances, the architects of your health, and really the engine driving your purpose and your dreams.
Absolutely. It underscores that in every situation, you hold the key, or at least the potential to shape the key. Your thoughts, whether you choose them consciously or just let them run rampant, are perpetually shaping your reality. It's presented as this absolute law of cause and effect. Like he says, nothing can come from corn but corn, nothing from nettles but nettles. You reap what you sow mentally.
It implies you have this incredible, often untapped power within you. So here's a final thought to leave you with, something to really consider. Allen states that all achievements, whether in the business, intellectual, or spiritual world, are the result of definitely directed thought, are governed by the same law, and are of the same method. The only difference lies in the object of attainment, if that's true. What is the grandest vision you can dare to enthrone your heart? And maybe more practically, what single thought are you committing to cultivate, starting today, to bring that vision step by step into reality?